Hello and welcome to the second lesson. In this video, we'll start modeling the hull of the ship, which is the main structure. In this case, and in any 3D modeling project, we'll begin with a primitive object, a cube. From this cube, we'll be able to create the entire hull. Are you ready? Let's go. First, we need to make this cube editable. To do that, click this button or hit the C key. Then grab the Scale tool, which can be activated by pressing the T key, scale up the cube on the Z-axis, and scale it up on the X-axis too. Now change the layout to Model so that we have access to the modeling tools. Activate the Polygons mode and select the cube to start making the required cuts. Grab the Loop Path tool, which is the tool needed for this. We'll make a cut roughly here and another one here. The exact distance between the two doesn't matter too much. What's important is that they are symmetric on the X-axis, but not on the Z-axis. Now we're going to work with the points. This process can be tedious because it's repetitive. Basically, you need to select the points. If you hold Shift, you can add points to the selection. And then, by dragging the arrows, you can move these points to modify the cube and adjust its shape according to your needs. If you press the space bar, you can swap between these two tools, so this speeds up the work. So, for example, grab these points and scale them to generate the shape of the hull. You need to place these points or vertices in the desired position to replicate the shape that you can see on the right bottom part of the screen. Keep in mind that the less cuts we make, the better. Okay, so now we need another cut. In this case, it would be a horizontal one. Activate the Polygons mode, grab the Loop Path tool, and make a cut roughly in the middle. Grab the points on the bottom and scale them to replicate the shape of the hull. This is why I think this process is tedious. It's like sculpting something, but from its vertices or points, by grabbing them and scaling them until you get what you're looking for. Now I'll grab these 2 points and scale them. Just look at the image on the bottom right. It's important that you move these bottom points closer to get the sharpness that the bottom of the hull usually has. Let's make another cut over here, more or less. This is what we're going to do next. Grab these points. To select the entire loop, go to Select Loop Selection. As you can see, all the points in the loop have been selected. So now we can move them all at the same time. I'll move these 2 down a bit. Okay, we need another horizontal cut, roughly here. Using the loop selection, select all these points and scale them like this. Select these points on the front and move them. Don't forget to look at the reference on the bottom right. You can see that this is just about selecting the points and adjusting them to replicate the shape of the reference. And as I told you, the loop selection helps you select many points at the same time. Let's keep working. Grab the Loop Path tool and make a cut on this area. We do this because we want to raise these edges of the shape in order to replicate the cabin. You know, this is common among the shapes of that era. It's the place where the rooms for the crew were located. Now it's a good time to exaggerate the shape too, as we're looking for a cartoonish look. Okay, select these two polygons and these two on the back. Delete them by pressing the Delete key. Once you have done that, make a cut here. We do this because with the Polygon Pen tool, we can generate new polygons. See? Just click on the points you want to join and the polygon will be automatically created. Now, using this same tool, let's draw something like this. If you see that there are leftover points, which might appear sometimes when working with polygons, just delete them. See, we have one here, so let's delete it. Alright, now let's make a new cut here on top. This will allow us to join these points with the Polygon Pen tool. Do the same on the other side. Now, to cover these two holes, we can use the Close Polygon Hole tool. This way, after generating these two polygons, there won't be any hole left on the shape. Next, we need to make sure that the normals are correct. The normals are the orientation of the polygons. If the polygons are yellow, that means everything is fine. I'm going to show you what to do if there's any blue polygon. Like this. To fix it, right-click and choose Reverse Normals. That option reverses the orientation of the polygon. Now, select the points that I've been selecting and stretch them a bit to exaggerate these proportions. This is essential in order to generate the cartoon shape. Then make a cut here. Select these 4 points and lower them. As you can see, I'm trying to replicate what I see in the reference on the bottom right part of the screen. Following this workflow, you can generate the shapes of the hull. I'm just doing that. I'm modifying the points according to what I need. Okay, now we're going to make like a projection. Select all these polygons. Right-click and choose Extrude Inner. It's important that this box, Preserve Groups, is checked. Otherwise, the inner extrusions will be created individually. So make sure that the box is checked and create an extrusion like this. Right-click and choose Extrude. Drag down to create an extrusion to the inside. We're going to make a couple more cuts. Roughly over here. We need to make a small curve, so select the needed points carefully and drag down a little bit. Look at the reference and keep working on the hole bit by bit. And finally, these points on the bottom need to be dragged down a bit to create a curve. If you need it, you can use the loop selection to select multiple points at once and work faster. We are almost done. To finish, select these points and drag them down a bit. Now select these 2 points and drag them down too to avoid having weird polygons on the mesh. And these points too. Alright, now we can decide whether to make more cuts or not. For example, if we made one more here, we would have more options to adjust the hull of the ship. But keep in mind that we want a low poly cartoon model, so the less polygons there are, the better. Okay, this is the end of the lesson. See you in the next one!